What I want you to know today also is the complete disregard, and I need to say this, that the Illuminati have for humanity because they see us as weak. They see us as buying all of their baloney. And that makes us weak in their eyes. Well, they're not changing it. Let's give them more. And we are being barraged all the time with all of this stuff, all of this just overstimulation from everything. Television, radio, all the agendas, all the stuff they put on the news. We're always being just overwhelmed with it. But you don't have to be. The problem is that they have an agenda for the planet. And their agenda for the United States, we're at the top of the list. They're going to take down the United States if they have their way. We're the troublemakers. We need to be taken down. They're establishing biospheres in this country. They're planning to move a lot of the population out of certain huge areas in the United States because they want to mine a lot of this country for the resources. They want to depopulate. And they're starting their agenda. I mean, they started it years ago, but they're stepping it up. And we are being groomed to accept all of this and not question it. We're getting used to the security alerts now because they're grooming us to accept Homeland Security, who will come in and tell us if we can eat, when we can go to the bathroom. Everything, no privacy anymore. It's 1984. But they are going to depopulate the United States unless we stop it. The Illuminati, the very ones at the very top, the top echelon, the most pure, their plan is to get rid of most of the population on the planet and only have their slaves. And they'll do their genetic experimentation and manipulation and make everything over again, make it a new planet. They want a feudal system. They love the feudal age. They love that whole system. And that's what they want. Among themselves, who you see in power, who looks like they're in power right now, very public, they're not the ones. They're being used. You know, it's a pyramid. They're in a pyramid too. They're going to be tossed aside also. And they don't believe it. They better believe it. They're being used. So think of that the next time you see speeches on television. They're considered impure and lower level, but they will do the dirty work, and then we'll get rid of them. It's going to be a purge. I think that something that people need to know is that we've all been subject to a lot of programming. Not just people like me that have been obviously programmed slaves to do the bidding. Since they've established this, I have to call it false matrix, on this dimension, everyone is subject to programming. And it is made to be subtle, so that maybe you don't realize it, maybe you do. It's dependent on being able to shut down your higher chakra system. So people need to open those systems up, or be spiritually aware, if that is a better term. Open up your spirituality. When you consent with your consciousness to certain types of situations, then you give them permission to use your unconscious mind. And many people don't realize that. Your mind can be used like a vortex. I think the popular coined term is Stargate right now. Your mind can be used that way. That's what they're doing at underground bases. That's one of their major programs, creating vortexes in that way. But every day, people living an everyday life, when you turn your mind off and you turn your awareness off to what's going on around you, you give permission for your unconscious mind to be used. When you lose hope, when you lose sense of purpose, you stop thinking and you stop feeling and you stop experiencing and you give permission. And that's how these things are used. And they're used to bring in a certain consciousness on this planet. And it's a low consciousness, and it's something that you're not supposed to be aware of that's happening. I mean, among the more obvious things, using the media the way they do. You're not supposed to be aware of other things going on here. Because if you were aware, you wouldn't allow it. So people need to research. You use your consciousness to get to your unconsciousness. You question authority. You don't just accept something just because so-and-so says it. I expect, after people hear me speak, that they will go out and research what I have said. You might like what I said. You might not like what I said. You might not believe it. And you might believe it. But please, go out and do your research. Go out and check everything out. Use your mind. You have one to use it for. Don't just buy it. It's really easy to just buy what you're told. Don't do that. That's how they've taken over. I want people to go out and start researching. Don't just believe it just because someone said this, that, or the other, or so-and-so said it. Check it out, because if it's real, there's going to be more on the subject, and there's going to be some resonance. And it has to be resonance that relates to this physical reality on this planet. It has to be in resonance to what is here. It has to have some reality based stuff to it.